The movie starts by showing us a secret world inside the Earth called Hollow Earth, which is full of huge and powerful creatures. One day when Kong is pursued by giant wart dogs, he cleverly leads them into a trap by stopping near a hill's edge, fooling his chasers into falling in after him. He then cleverly makes a rock fall which opens up a hidden deep crack in the ground. This trap catches many of the creatures, making them fall into the deep hole. During the confusion, Kong fights one of the creatures and beats it very skillfully. This makes him look so strong that the other creatures run away scared, making it clear that Kong is the boss of Hollow Earth. After everything calms down, Kong stands alone watching over this underground world from a hill. Meanwhile, on Earth's surface, we are introduced to Dr. Eileen Andrews, a dedicated scientist monitoring the global threats posed by Titans. She uses a complex system to watch where they go and what they do. Godzilla, who is also a giant creature, surprisingly acts as a protector, stopping other Titans that might harm people. Right now, Godzilla is living deep in the ocean, quietly watching for any threats from the sea or land. One day in Rome, where a scary giant Scylla suddenly appeared, causing panic and disorder. So Godzilla came up to fight this dangerous creature. They had a massive fight, and Godzilla used his strength and smart tactics to win. In the end, Godzilla used his powerful atomic breath to defeat the giant Scylla once and for all. After getting rid of the threat, Godzilla went back to the sea, leaving the city safe. After that, we see Eileen is in office, feeling worried and uneasy as she examines strange and unsettling signals coming from Hollow Earth. These signals are very troubling to her. At the same time, in Gia's school, something unusual is happening. Gia, who is the adopted daughter of Eileen, starts having intense daydreams. She's overwhelmed with strange ideas that make her fill her desk with detailed drawings. This sudden and strange behavior makes her teacher and classmates very confused and worried. Later, Eileen is called to Gia's school quickly because there's a problem. In school, Gia tells her that she's confused and scared by the weird visions she keeps seeing. Every time she blinks, she sees a bunch of strange and disturbing pictures. It turns out that Gia has a special gift because she's the last known survivor of the Iwi tribe from Skull Island, who can talk to Kong. This special bond might be the reason behind the odd things happening to him. At night, Gia started having scary visions again, which made her feel very afraid. She was so upset that she went to Eileen for help, telling her she was sure that Kong was in danger in the mysterious Hollow Earth and that she needed to contact him right away. Eileen spoke to her in a calming way, saying she understood Gia's worries and would take care of them, but also told Gia that you go to sleep now. In her room, Eileen was thinking deeply about the drawings that Gia, who was very upset, had made. She suddenly understood that the mysterious signals she had picked up from Hollow Earth looked a lot like Gia's drawings. Knowing she had to act fast, she went to find Bernie Hayes, a specialist who could figure out if these signals were coming from a giant creature like Kong or something else. While Bernie found out something surprising after looking into it, the signals didn't come from a giant creature or Kong. They were actually sent by people, which is unusual for Hollow Earth. These signals sent by humans were strange because they were different from anything known before, suggesting that there's a big secret happening deep inside the Earth. At this time, Eileen gets a scary message while everyone is already on edge. Godzilla has woken up from his sleep in the water. This is serious and means there's a big threat coming soon, something Godzilla was expecting. The story then tells us that Godzilla has moved to a new place in Europe after leaving the ocean. But the story gets more interesting when Kong comes out from the underground world of Hollow Earth to the surface of the Earth. Eileen and Gia are with him when he comes out. Then Kong shows that he has a problem that's bothering him a lot, a really bad toothache. To treat his tooth, Eileen calls for a team member named Trapper to help with Kong's tooth problem in a not-so-normal way. Trapper bravely hangs from a plane and ties a rope around Kong's bad tooth. Then, they carefully go back up into the plane and use the plane's power to pull out Kong's tooth, which helps him feel better from his tooth pain. After fixing Kong's tooth with a fake one, Eileen goes back to her office and talks to Bernie about a shocking find. The signals they've been getting are actually made by people, and this could mean trouble for Hollow Earth. So Eileen decides to face this new threat head-on. She puts together a small group of experts, including herself, Bernie, Trapper, Gia, and a pilot named Mikhail. This team, along with Kong, bravely sets out to the center of the Earth, into the mysterious world of Hollow Earth. The journey to Hollow Earth was very dangerous and difficult, really pushing the team to their limits. But even though it was risky, they made it to the beautiful world of Hollow Earth. Kong found comfort in the cave of his ancestors, and the people with him went on to the place they had set up as their base. On the surface of Earth, in a high-tech control room, Hampton were watching Godzilla closely. Godzilla departs from Rome and travels north, attacking a nuclear plant in France to absorb radiation and strengthen himself. Monarch believes he is preparing for an imminent threat. Meanwhile, Eileen found something very sad and serious in Hollow Earth. The Monarch outpost, which used to be a place full of smart human inventions, was completely destroyed, showing just how powerful the Titans are. At the same time, Kong felt a strange new kind of energy that seemed to come from a Titan no one could see. Getting ready for a fight that was sure to happen, he picked up his axe. While Kong walks around this underground place and came out from a waterfall. There, Kong found a new place where he saw a big, scary shadow in the smoke. When it got closer, it turned out to be a small gorilla named Suko. Kong tried to be friendly and reached out his hand, but Suko bit him instead. Then Suko runs away, and Kong chases after it. Suddenly, Kong is surrounded by other big gorillas like him, which he has never seen before. They quickly catch him, but Kong easily breaks free. When Suko shows up again, Kong grabs it and uses it to fight off the others.
Kong fights fiercely and beats all the other gorillas, proving he's the strongest and the leader among them. The fight was intense, showing Kong's strength and instinct to survive, and he's left standing as the clear winner. After everything that happened, Kong asked Suko to show him where his tribe was, but Suko didn't respond to Kong's request. Still, the group didn't give up and kept going. At the same time, deep in Hollow Earth, Eileen's team was busy trying to understand the strange signals. While they were looking, one of the team members, Mikhail, warned everyone that the place was very dangerous because of all the Titans around. He said that they would only be safe if they followed his advice. But just as he was trying to convince them, a Titan that was hiding by looking like a tree suddenly ate him. Seeing this, they all ran from that place. Only then Gia discovered an ancient symbol that seemed very important. When everything was calm, a butterfly landed on a rock, and when Gia touched it, water suddenly started flowing from a little tunnel. They were so curious that they decided to follow where the water was going, and it took them to a secret, protected place that was hidden by something like an invisible shield. So Gia opens the invisible shield with her hands, and they found a completely new place that was secret and waiting to be explored. Meanwhile, we see Kong and Suko. Kong wants to find his tribe, but Suko has different plans and tricks Kong into going to a river. Kong doesn't know that there's a gigantic serpent monster hiding in the river, but Suko does. Suddenly, as if it was meant to happen, a water-dwelling gigantic serpent monster attacked Kong. Kong, fighting to stay alive, hit the creature in the mouth with his axe, which made the creature even angrier. The creature tried to drag Kong under the water, and it looked like Kong was going to lose. Seeing how scary the situation was, Suko got scared and ran away. While running away, Suko saw something really shocking: the head of the gigantic serpent monster that Kong had just defeated. This horrible sight showed without a doubt that Kong was not just an ordinary gorilla. As they moved on, they ate gigantic serpent monster's meat that Kong had killed. After that, we see Monarch follows Godzilla's path until he reaches Tiamat, the underwater titan who emerges from hibernation to battle Godzilla. Despite Tiamat wrapping herself around him, Godzilla overpowers her. And then, with his powerful atomic breath, Godzilla completely destroys the threat and absorbs Tiamat radiation energy before submerging to prepare for the next battle. At the same time, deep inside Hollow Earth, Eileen and her team find a new area they've never seen before. While they're exploring this place, they're suddenly attacked by some people. These attackers are from the Iwi tribe, who can communicate with Kong and are the ones who sent the strange signals that Eileen was getting. During the fight, a girl from the Iwi tribe sees Gia and feels like she belongs with them. They bring Gia to the leader of the Iwi tribe to check if this is true. The leader holds hands with Gia and finds out that Gia really is part of their tribe. This discovery makes it clear that Gia has an important place in the story, connecting Kong with people. Now Eileen used this chance to ask about the scary signals that were sent up to the Earth's surface. The tribe's leaders told her something shocking. There are many gorillas like Kong living in Hollow Earth, and they all follow one ruthless leader known as Scar King. Now Scar King wants to take over the world above Hollow Earth too. But Godzilla, who keeps things in balance, had stopped Scar King before and made him go back to Hollow Earth. Now this strong enemy is a danger to the world again. Meanwhile, Kong goes after Zuko and finds where all the big apes are, which is a big shock for him. They're all being made to work hard by Scar King. Kong notices one of Scar King's bullies beating another elderly gorilla. Kong gets angry when he sees this cruel thing happening. He faces the one responsible and hits them hard, showing that he's the strongest and shaking up the way things are usually done. When Kong stood up, it made Scar King come out. Scar King, who had been stopped by Godzilla before, didn't get mad at Kong but laughed because Kong has metal teeth, but the laughter didn't last long. Suddenly, Scar King gets angry about being laughed at and does something terrible. He throws the gorilla into a pit of lava, which makes Zuko very sad. Seeing this, Kong can't keep quiet and shouts out in anger. This makes Scar King attack him quickly with a whip made from another titan's spine and a sharp crystal on it. Kong almost gets hit badly, but he manages to dodge most of its hits. However, the crystal still cuts his hand, showing that the fight between Kong and Scar King is getting worse. At a tense point, Scar King managed to catch Kong's neck with his whip, and it looked like he might kill Kong. But Kong, using all the strength he had left, kicked Scar King hard to the ground. This changed everything in the fight, and Scar King, realizing he might lose, ordered his goons to stop the lava from flowing. Just then, an ice titan named Shimo joined the battle because it was connected to Scar King by a crystal on his whip. Scar King used this crystal to make Shimo attack Kong with icy breath. When Kong tried to block this icy breath attack with his axe, both his axe and hand got covered in ice. When things were looking bad, Zuko showed Kong a way out, and Kong took the chance to run away. Seeing the Kong fleeing, Scar King tells his gorilla goons to chase the Kong and kill him. So a bunch of gorillas ran after him, but Kong tricked them into a trap he had set before. Some of the gorillas got caught in the trap, but the smarter ones figured out what Kong was doing and avoided it. However, Zuko stopped them by throwing a lot of stones at them to help Kong, showing that they were now on the same side. After all that had happened, Kong felt better when Zuko came for aid, which was a sign of their new friendship and how they both stayed strong together. Then the scene shifts to Godzilla, who has just defeated Tiamat and is absorbing Tiamat's radiation energy. At the same time, deep underground in Hollow Earth, Eileen watches her daughter Gia, who is happy being with her own tribe. Seeing this beautiful moment, Eileen decides it's best to let Gia stay with her tribe, while she goes back up to the surface world by herself. During these emotional times, suddenly, the Iwi tribe quickly open a hidden entrance to their place, as Zuko arrives with the injured Kong. But they weren't the only ones who knew about this secret door. Another gorilla who had been following them saw this. After everything that happened, Kong was knocked out. While he was unconscious, the gorilla who had seen the secret door went to inform Scar King about it. He told Scar King about a special door that could take him to the surface of the earth, where Scar King wanted to rule. Scar King was excited about this and rode his ice titan Shimo like a horse to go and conquer. But Godzilla, who always keeps an eye on things to ensure balance, knew Scar King was up to no good. Since Godzilla had previously sent Scar King and his ice titan Shimo to Hollow Earth, he knew he had to stop them from getting out, as Godzilla prepared for a big fight. Meanwhile, Eileen and her team were tending to Kong's injuries. They discovered that Kong's hand was broken due to all the fighting he had been through. They decided to make him strong again by getting a metal hand made for him from the surface world, which would be a combination of high-tech and Kong's own power. After they put on Kong's new metal hand that has special energy boosters, Kong starts to feel strong again and forgets the pain from his old fights. At the same time, Zuko sees Scar King coming their way, riding on his ice titan Shimo. Zuko quickly tells Kong, who remembers that he lost to this huge ice monster before. Knowing he can't win this fight alone, Kong tells Eileen and her team to get out of there. Then, feeling the need to act fast, Kong heads to the edge of the earth to ask Godzilla for help. Godzilla felt that a fight was about to happen and came to Earth, watching Kong closely. Thinking Kong was coming to fight, Godzilla started fighting him. They both clashed in a huge battle that seemed like a misunderstanding because they thought they were enemies. But Kong didn't want to fight and was actually trying to warn Godzilla about the danger that was coming. But Godzilla got it wrong and thought Kong wanted to fight, so he attacked with his dangerous atomic pink breath. Kong had no choice but to fight back, and they both ended up in an epic battle showing their great strength. At the same time, something magical happened with the Iwi tribe. Jia's spirit joined with Mothra, and they flew off to stop Godzilla and Kong from fighting. She quickly stepped in to explain the real danger they all faced. Then the Iwi tribe did something special. They poured a red liquid into the water, which caused crystals to rise from deep within the earth. These crystals came together, signaling that something big and unknown was about to happen. As the crystals moved into place, the doorways to Earth were almost shut for good. But suddenly Scar King showed up with his giant Ice Titan Shimo. The Ice Titan Shimo used its power to freeze the stones, stopping the doorways from closing. Right then Jia, who had joined with the spirit of Mothra, appeared. Godzilla and Kong both rushed into the fight. Kong, now stronger with his new metal hand, started a tough battle with Scar King. With his new power, Kong was a tough match and fought Scar King with a lot of power. In the middle of all the action, Godzilla was fighting hard against the Ice Titan Shimo, which had caught him in its icy breath. Mothra came just in time to break the ice and free Godzilla so he could fight again. The fight kept going with Mothra taking on Scar King's soldiers. Suddenly, there was no gravity, and everyone started floating and spinning around, heading towards a doorway that led to the surface of the earth. Scar King didn't stop trying to take over, and he told the Ice Titan Shimo to start unleash his ice powers on the world, freezing buildings and firing an ice blast skyward. As the earth was almost destroyed by icy apocalypse. Soon Godzilla and Kong came back to Earth and start fight against Scar King's freezing attacks. Scar King threw a big brick at Kong, but Kong, now stronger with his metal hand, broke it easily. Then Kong hit Scar King really hard, showing his incredible fighting spirit and how strongly he and Godzilla are connected to the Earth they were defending. Soon Godzilla took a chance to take the crystal off Scar King's whip, which was controlling the Ice Titan Shimo. Kong wanted to break the crystal, but Scar King attacked him from behind. Right when Scar King was about to get his crystal back, suddenly Zuko stepped in with Kong's axes and broke the crystal with a strong hit of axes, which freed the Ice Titan Shimo from Scar King's control. Without his ultimate weapon, Kong grabs Scar King and tosses him toward Godzilla, who whips him back with his tail towards Kong like a volleyball. After that, Kong holds Scar King in the air as Ice Titan Shimo turns on her former master and freezes him. It looked like they had won, but Kong saw a tiny bit of life left in Scar King's eye that wasn't frozen. So, with one last powerful smash, Kong made sure Scar King was completely defeated. After the big battle, Godzilla used his powerful atomic breath to melt the ice that was covering the sky and the sun. This started a reaction that melted all the ice on Earth and made things right again. On the other hand, in Hollow Earth, where Eileen and Jia was, now that the danger is over, it's time for Eileen to go back up to the surface with her friends. She didn't want to take Jia away from the happiness she found with her tribe, but then Jia says she's not happy in Hollow Earth and really wants to go with Eileen, because Jia feels that being with Eileen is like being at home. Eileen is really happy to hear this and agrees, so they get ready to leave for the surface together. Later, Mothra, who is like a god to the Iwi tribe, works to fix the Earth by closing up the broken parts and doorways. Meanwhile, we see Godzilla, who is very tired, taking a break after all the fighting. At the same time, Kong goes back to Hollow Earth, where the gorillas welcome him as their king. Thank you for watching. I hope you liked the movie. Bye.